Hey, it's Samantha Hartley of the Profitable Joyful Consulting Podcast. This is season 10, and the theme for this season is performance. I want to talk about all things business performance. Now, you might notice that I am in my new home office studio. So we've just been doing a lot of redecorating in here and getting it ready. And as you probably know, if you've ever done a home improvement project, they never end. So it always goes way longer than you think it's going to. I hoped to be in here by the beginning of season 9, and it's not entirely complete, but I was just so excited about it. I had to come on in here and show it to you. So you'll see it evolve over the season. So let's talk about performance. There's 3 things that I wanted to share with you today about it. It's a fun and huge topic, and I think, as with a lot of things, it has kind of a masculine vibe to it for me, because it seems like a lot of competition and comparison and things like that. So I want to share with you ways that I want us to be thinking about performance. The first thing is that everything in your business performs, and it should perform. So we begin with you and your own personal performance. And that's about how you show up in the business and getting the best out of yourself. Last season was about the brand called you. And this season, I want you to be thinking about what are the ways that how do I do my best how do I show up as my best? And how to be my best self. So that's part 1. A concept that I've heard that is really my favorite thing that I ever heard was the concept of personal best. Again, when we think about performance, a lot of times I think we're comparing each other. It's kind of like there's a race and we want to be the one to win it. And one of my favorite concepts that I ever heard in my whole entire life, and I was quite young when I heard this, was personal best. What's your personal best? So it's not that I ran faster than the next person or that I made more money than that company over there. But what I did for myself, I hit a record for myself. PR, personal record, doing my personal best. So I want you to, as we look at this stuff, if you ever find yourself getting triggered by anything that we're saying, I want you to think, listen, the only person you're in competition with is you and your past self. And you want yourself to win. I just today posted one of my favorite quotes, which is, you can't compete against me. I want you to win too. And as soon as we transform our thoughts around competition into listen, everybody can win. I can do my personal best and you can do your personal best and she can do her personal best and we can all feel great about ourselves. That to me is a very feminine, very highest good of all concerned way to look at this kind of thing. So the second thing is all of the kinds of performance in your business. So obviously, in addition to you and yourself, there's the overall performance of the business. And we're going to look at this with revenues. If you're a huge company, which say share of market or top of mind and things like that. But for us as small consultancies, we're going to be thinking in terms of probably revenues. You're going to compare against last year. You're going to compare against previous quarter, this time last year, this month, all kinds of things that you can do there. So what do we measure? What do we assess when we are looking at performance? The company performs, and then each department of it performs. And even if you're a one-person business, there are still aspects of or departments in your business. So these are going to be things like sales, marketing, operations, client success. These are all things that are related to performance. And I'm going to be speaking to each one of these this season. So sales performance. How do you track sales performance? How do you improve it? What are the individual things we measure? Even within something as specific as sales, there's going to be, how'd your salesperson perform? Even if that's you. How did your sales page perform? How did your LinkedIn profile perform? Is it sending you referrals? If you have referral partners, speaking of which, how are they performing? What's your conversion rate when you have calls or meetings to close sales? What percentage of those close? So even within sales, we can look at many different kinds of performance. Let's skip over to clients and delivery. Are your clients getting results? And how are you tracking that? How are you looking at that? So performance is a very broad idea. And I want to look at all of the ways in your business that things, including you, aspects, perform. And then the third place that I want to look in your business is at measurements and tracking. KPIs, key performance indicators. This is all of the ways you're keeping up with how you're performing. There's a well-known expression in business, which is, if you don't measure it, you can't manage it. And so we have to have measurement around things. The thing I love is also what you focus on grows. That's a really important aspect to me. I really want to be focusing on the part of my business that I want to affect. I want to make it change and usually improve, unless it's attrition, in which case I want to decrease it. But we really want to affect certain things in our business, and we can't do that unless we're tracking it. I had a client say to me, well, you know what I noticed is if I don't pay any attention to my revenues, they go up. Kind of like by magic. I was like, no, actually, that might feel better to you in the short term, but that's avoidance. It's not influence. It's not impact. So instead of ignoring it and saying that like probably it'll go up, and I notice that it does go up, what we want to do is pay attention to it and work on our relationship to it. I want you to work on your relationship to those numbers and how you can impact them. So if you have queasy feeling around things like the numbers in your business or how you're performing, that's mindset work to do in addition to performance work. Okay, so those are the areas that I'm going to be covering this season, and I would love to hear from you which of those is most interesting, most impactful. You know, I have a Facebook group called Profitable Joyful Consulting, and I'm constantly sharing advice in there with other consultants just like you, who may ask questions, may share their experiences, may share referrals, ask for advice. It's a really lively group, and I invite you to join us if you're on Facebook. And if not, I totally understand. And I will see you here in the next episode. Thank you so much, and I'm wishing you a profitable and joyful consulting business. Thanks for watching. I'd appreciate if you'd like this episode, and if you enjoyed the show, why not subscribe? Be sure to click the bell to get notified when new episodes drop.